Scott,
You sounded a bit disappointed last night with how things ended, obviously, but when you have time to think about it now, does the good stuff start to sink in that you made a lot of progress this year?
Hopefully in a couple weeks. Still pretty early, I think. Yeah, it's tough. I think when we put ourselves in such a good spot at the start of the year, you're pushing towards that goal of making the playoffs, and you get that taste a little bit. You want to get back there. I haven't experienced playoff hockey in Philly in quite some time, and there's nothing really like it. And I think the guys have had those conversations with each other of getting back there, but yeah, it's still this one stings the most out of my career, I think, just because of the way it went down and just the stretch that we went through at the end of the year where it could have been a lot different. But you know what? A lot of progress was made, and you got to look at that too. And some of the young guys, some of the older guys taking a bigger step in our organization, and we'll go from there.
It seemed like you weren't the only one after the game. You zeroed in on the losing streak as the reason for this. The final 3 games, obviously, you came out hard, but I know it's kind of the million-dollar question. But looking back, what do you think happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. Have to kind of decompress here and see what went wrong, but. Our penalty kill kind of let us down during that streak, and then our power play. It's actually pretty impressive what we did all year with our power play the way it was, and not scoring goals. I think your power play wins you games, and during the year, and it didn't win us many games this year. So our 5-on-5 play was pretty strong, and obviously we let in a ton of goals during that stretch, but. I don't think it was lack of work or anything like that. I think we were still competing, still in games. I think some of those in conference games kind of hurt us even before that. You have a chance with Pittsburgh, the Islanders when they come in. Games like that kind of sting you and set you back. And I think... Yeah, not even the 8-game losing streak, but some games before that where you kind of could have put the teams away that were chasing you, and we just didn't find a way. So guys know how important points are in this league and how close it comes down to, and every game matters, every point matters, and I think we still have some learning to do.
So the biggest lesson that maybe a lot of the young guys can take out of this is that Travis was sitting up here and said, it's Tuesday night and you're in some random city. That game can be just as important as game 82. Is that a lesson that you think the young guys can learn from and grow from?
Absolutely. I think you're in the NHL. This is your job to perform and to show up every night, and that's probably the biggest issue I had early on in my career was consistency on a night-to-night basis, and still had some of those issues this year of that. But it's consistency every night, and you see those teams that are at the top of the standings every year. They don't lose 2 in a row. They go on streaks. They go into road cities and they win games, and tough ones, back-to-backs, things like that. And that's where we want to get. I think we made some really good progress from last year, where it kind of felt it felt a lot different. But this was a good stepping stone, and as I look back on it, as I decompress and kind of try and get over this, that's what you'll try and take from it and go into the summer.
Scott, you talked a little bit about the power play. What do you think, went wrong with it this year?
Probably not enough volume to the net. We just didn't seem to mesh on it, and once you start thinking about it, you go out there, and it's kind of in the back of your head. So I I don't know. We'll have to look at that, but like I said, usually playoff teams usually have a top 10 penalty kill and power play, and we had one of them, which was a good step for us. But power plays win you games throughout a year, especially in big games. They take over and they win you games, and they didn't this year for us. So we'll have to get better at it.
Scott, in terms of off-ice stuff, last summer you were in some trade rumors. Obviously, you were in some trade rumors in the lead up to the deadline. You felt pretty confident that you weren't going to get moved based on your conversation with Danny and Jonesy. But I guess how worried are you, that you might not be back next year? Do you feel confident you'll be back?
Yeah, I hope so. Be nice not to think about it for till the draft, I guess. But yeah, I want to be here. I've made it pretty clear. I want to be a part of this. I accept my role wherever it is, and I built a life here, and I want to see it succeed, and want to be a part of this city when we're at the top. And I came in after a couple big playoff series in 2010 and 11, and I felt the energy, and we started to get it back this year, and I really want to be a part of this. So we'll see what happens here, but I haven't really put much thought into it. I'll let Danny and Jonesy and those guys take care of that stuff and whatever they think they need to do for the team going forward. But yeah, I've said it all along, and I'll keep saying it. I love it here, and I want to be here. So I want to win here. That's what I want to do.
Sorry, yeah. When we talked to you leading up to the trade deadline, you talked about knowing where you stand here. Have you been happy just with the communication from Danny and people in management about trying to be as upfront as possible about things?
Yeah, right from the get-go, I guess, when my name was in rumors, I got a call from Torts right away. We had a good chat about it, and all of them were very upfront with me of kind of what they saw and what they were thinking. So I was never in the dark, which was a really good feeling. And you don't see your team president and owner coming down and shaking your hand after every game. Danny's in the locker room, and that feeling makes the players, I don't know, not want to play for you, but it is. You wanna be a part of this. Those guys care, and you see it on a day-to-day basis, especially with Dan Helferty and Jonesy. You don't see that with many teams, and they're there, they're active with us, and they're around all the time. They let you know, and I think it's so beneficial, not only for the young guys, but the older guys too, to feel that, and feels like a family.
Just from an off-ice perspective, did you have, there were a few things that happened over the course of the last few weeks with Sean getting scratched, Torts calling the team soft after that Islanders game. Did that have any negative effect at all? Do you think the team handled a lot of the off-ice stuff in the right way, or did that sort of seep in and maybe?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when your captain gets scratched. I think he's the leader of your team, and you want him out there in key situations. So yeah, it's tough. I think there's different things that go on throughout every year. I think we've had different things for the last couple years here, and you deal with them. Like I said before, it's your job to go on the ice and perform, and the outside noise doesn't really matter. You have to perform, and that stuff happens throughout a year, and you got to deal with it.
Scott, you talked about you and I talked right after the All-Star break how you kind of changed your mentality a little bit moving forward. Is that something you're hoping to continue, maybe drawing from what you did at that time to maybe next season in your career?
Yeah, I think playing last year in such a prominent role, having all those minutes kind of for the first time in my career being leaned on like that, and coming in this year and still had a pretty prominent role, and then wasn't playing as well as I like to, and you kind of start seeing more limited, I guess, situations throughout the year, and still think I was a good teammate and everything like that, but I was pretty hard on myself and hard on myself away from the rink, and after break I kind of just changed my mindset of not letting it affect me as much. I think it kind of eats at you, and from then on I started playing a little bit of better hockey and contributing a little bit more and playing more freely, not thinking as much. I think when I'm thinking out there, it's not the best, so try and trust my instincts and be a physical player that brings value. So I'll continue to work on it. I do a lot of stuff away from the ice like that, and continue to get better.